Attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, friends, I want to start my talk. Last year we ended up our series of talks in right understanding. This year I pick up different topics for each talk. Today I thought of giving a little talk on Bojjhanga. Bojjhanga means, Bojjhanga also is a very, very important topic in the Buddha's teaching. There are 37 factors of enlightenment. They are called 37 or Sattatinsati Bodhipakkika Dhamma in Pali. 37 factors of enlightenment. They are broken down to 7, and therefore they are called 7 factors of enlightenment. Before since 7 factors included in the 37, let us begin with the 37 factors of enlightenment. They are grouped to 7 classes. In the first group, there are 4. These 4 are called 4 foundations of mindfulness. I think everybody who practices meditation knows 4 foundations of mindfulness. To be specific, they are mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of feelings, mindfulness of the mind, and mindfulness of mind objects. Kaya anupassana, Vedana anupassana, Chitta anupassana, and Dhamma anupassana. These 4 are called 4 foundations of mindfulness. There are discourses, long discourses, short discourses. Long discourse on this topic is in Digha Nikaya, long discourse, text on long discourses, and the other is in Majjhima Nikaya, middle length discourse. Now, that is group number 1. We take them in turn to experience in detail, but today I simply go through the list very briefly because of our limited time. Second group is called 4 Iddhipada. Iddhipada means the base of success, base of spiritual success. 4 bases of spiritual success. These 4 bases are called Chanda, Chitta, Virya, Vimansa. Chanda is intention or desire. Chitta is determination. Virya is effort. Vimansa is investigation. These 4 are called the basis of spiritual success. We need to have a desire, chanda. This is wholesome desire, what we call desire to be desireless. and then virya, fourfold effort. All of them we will discuss later on in detail in some other talks. Then chanda, chitta means determination, virya effort, and investigation. They are called in Pali chanda, chitta, virya, vimansa. Then there is another category of 4 that is called category of sammapadana. Sammapadana. Padana also is virya, effort. They are also, we find them in the Noble Eightfold Path. Virya. That 4 types of virya. One is a virya, effort to prevent unnecessary, unwholesome mental states from arising. Second effort is to overcome all the arisen, unwholesome mental states. Third effort is to arouse unarisen, wholesome mental states. Fourth effort is to maintain and sustain and develop the wholesome mental state that is arisen. Now we have 3 groups of 4. That means there are 12 of them. 12 of them. Then there is a group called the spiritual faculties. The spiritual faculties are faith, effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. Faith, effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. Saddha, virya, sati, samadhi, panya. These are called spiritual faculties. In Pali they are called Saddha Indriya, Virya Indriya, Sati Indriya, Samadhi Indriya, and Panya Indriya. Sati Indriya, Virya Indriya, Samadhi Indriya, Panya Indriya. Sati Indriya, Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. There are 5. Then there is another group of 5 with the same name. They are called Bala, the strength, power. 5. Saddha Bala, Virya Bala, Sati Bala, Panya Bala. Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi Bala, Panya Bala. So these are the 5. Now there are now 10 in these 2 groups. 5 in each. 10. So 12, 10, 22. And then we have 7 factors of enlightenment: mindfulness, investigation, effort, joy, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. They are called Sati, Sati Sambhojana, Dhamma Vichaya, Virya, Piti, Passaddhi, Samadhi, Upekha. These are the 7 factors of enlightenment. Now we have 22 plus 7, 29. The last group is Noble Eightfold Path, 29.8, 37. Noble Eightfold Path, everybody knows. Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva, Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. Right view or right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Now these are called 37 factors of enlightenment. Every Buddhist must know these 37. Every Buddhist must know these 37. Now, they are called Bojjhanga. Bojjhanga is a combination of two words. It's a compound noun. Bodhi Anga. Bodhi means wisdom. Anga means limb, branch. When these two words join together, Bodhi Anga becomes Bojjhanga. That is in Pali, Bojjhanga. Factors in English we call factors of enlightenment. The word Bodhi is used for wisdom. Even the tree that helped the Buddha to attain Buddhahood is called Bodhi tree. The tree that helped him to sit down and meditate and attain Nibbana, attain enlightenment, Bodhi tree. Therefore the Buddha means one who awakened to wisdom. Buddha is one who awakened to wisdom, plus compassion. If we were to talk about Buddha in very brief 2 words, we can say Buddha is a one or embodiment of wisdom and compassion. Wisdom and compassion. So, this is the meaning of Bojjhanga, Bodhi Anga. Even the word Bodhi comes from the root called Bud. Bud is the root. Now, we also have to understand the importance of Bojjhanga. Buddha gave a very beautiful simile. Suppose we have a peak house or gable with a gable roof. All the rafters of the peak house developed and join the main beam towards, that is, all other rafters are their slants, slopes, and inclines towards the main beam. Similarly, all these factors, no matter how little we develop, all of them bends, slants, slopes towards Nibbana. And that is the reason why the factors of enlightenment is so important. To practice the factors of enlightenment, to have the benefit of that, to make it complete, one want to start with morality. Morality. Any person can start with at least the 5 precepts. The basic precepts are the 5 precepts. The reason is if they don't have the precept clean, then when they try to practice, the mind will not settle down. Mind will have all kind of thoughts, not wholesome, and concentration would become very, very difficult. Buddha said, bhikkhus, those bhikkhus who are accomplished in virtue, accomplished in concentration, accomplished in wisdom, accomplished in liberation, accomplished in the knowledge and vision of liberation. This is very important to remember. Even approaching them, even attending on them, even recollecting them, even going forth after them is helpful, I say. For what reason? Because when one has heard the Dhamma from such a bhikkhu, one dwells withdrawn by way of 2 kinds of withdrawals. What are the 2 kinds of withdrawals? Withdrawals of body and withdrawals of mind. That is viveka. Kaya viveka, chitta viveka in Pali. Dwelling thus withdrawn, one recollects the Dhamma and thinks it over. Whenever a bhikkhu dwells thus withdrawn, recollects that Dhamma and thinks it over, on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness is aroused in him. That is done by the bhikkhu. On that occasion, the bhikkhu develops enlightenment factor of mindfulness. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness comes to fulfillment by development in that monk's mind. So, even if you are not perfect in your morality, you have to start it right away. As you practice these factors of enlightenment, you gradually learn to be more serious in observing, practicing morality. You become very serious. Now, the practice of this is, we will talk more about it in future talks. Now, in the the 4 foundations of mindfulness, when you come to Dhamma Anupassana, mindfulness of Dhamma, the meditator paying total attention to what is going on, unbiasedly, then that person knows if there is enlightenment factor of mindfulness, he or she knows that the enlightenment factor of mindfulness is in me. Enlightenment factor of mindfulness is in me. That is, mindfulness is established. If it is not in him or her, he knows that it is not, mindfulness factor of enlightenment is not in him or her. Then the person makes additional effort to arouse unarisen mindfulness factor of enlightenment to arise. When it is arisen, he or she knows that the enlightenment factor of mindfulness is in me. Now this is not the theory, this is the practical. In practice, you know mindfulness practice, if it is not in your mind, you know it is not here. So you make additional effort and more serious, more consistent, more regular and deeply committed. And then it arises. When it arises, you know that it is there. When it is there, you pay more attention to that particular state of mind. When mindfulness factor of enlightenment is arisen, you pay more attention to mindfulness factor of enlightenment and develop it, cultivate it and maintain it, and then you reach its perfection. Then the next factor of enlightenment is investigation. You investigate, the investigation there is making the distinction between right and wrong, good and bad, wholesome and unwholesome, thoughts, words and deeds, and when any of them arise in your mind, you know that blocks your practice of factors of enlightenment factors. That's how we investigate. When you do that, you see very clearly that you are fully engaged in developing, cultivating your mind. When it is not there, you arouse your more energy and be more serious, practice more consistently, then investigation factor of enlightenment can arise in your mind. When it arises, you know that it is there, then develop your mind more closely, develop your enlightenment factor of investigation, and then maintain it, sustain it, support it, develop it. Then if energy factor of enlightenment is not in your mind, you are sluggish, little complacent, a little lazy, you are trying to postpone your practice, then you know that enlightenment factor of effort is not in you, not enough effort. When you deliberately, without being lazy, without being complacent, serious, consistent, regular, then the enlightenment factor of energy can arise in your mind. When it arises, you know that the factors of enlightenment factor of energy is in you. Then you develop it, cultivate it, maintain it, support it. Then what happens? Next factor of enlightenment arises in you. If it is not there, you know that. What is that? Joy factor of enlightenment. When you make effort, you are not getting tired. Rather, you get very delighted. You are full of joy, happy that you have energy, that you practice it and you are developing your mind. So you become more and more joyful. When the joyful state of mind arises, you will not be agitated, excited. You will not be jumping up and down. You are not crying. You are not talking. You are not smiling. But the fact of enlightenment, of joy factor of enlightenment, make you very, very joyful. This joy is very powerful spiritual joy. When that is there, you understand that it is there. Then what happens? Since you are not agitating, exciting, and not moving, you stay still, quiet, peaceful, then tranquility factor will arise in you. If it is not there, you know that tranquility factor is not in you. When it arises, you know that tranquility, the mind is so tranquil, so calm, so peaceful, so still. When that factor arises in you, you know that. You are not learning all this from books, from teachers, from friends, but from your own practice. Because this is happening within you, in your own mind. You are experiencing great deal of peace, tranquility, stillness, calmness. When this arises, you gain concentration. Tranquility factor leads to concentration. When you gain concentration, you know that your mind is concentrated. You don't use any words. That's why I always recommend people not to use words, but just watch. Pay attention and watch. When you keep watching, all these states gradually develops, then you gain concentration. When you gain concentration, your concentration is so sharp, so one-pointed, that you see things exactly as they are. That is the time you can see four noble truths perfectly, clearly. And that is the benefit of having a good concentration. In fact, you see the four noble, then your mind becomes equanimous. After gaining concentration, your mind becomes equanimous. Because all these agitating, exciting factors are gone, you don't have any more pain, physically or mentally, then you gain concentration. With that concentration, you gain equanimity. Both equanimity and concentration and even mindfulness, all of them will be in perfect balance. When all of them are in perfect balance, your mind is called in the state of equanimity. This equanimity is not any kind of indifference, but this is more spiritually developed, insightful equanimity, insight. Wisdom arises in the equanimous state of mind, no otherwise. So the mind becomes equanimous and gain wisdom. That is why it is called the factors of enlightenment or factors of gaining wisdom. See, gradually, all this are growing gradually. They all link with each other. The first to the last, with the mindfulness, investigation, effort, joy, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity and wisdom. So the mind opens to wisdom when we practice the factors of enlightenment. I mentioned only 7. And perhaps I can end this. I want to end this session. I have more material to cover, but we will continue these talks on different subjects. So today I want to outline the factors of enlightenment, and this is a sort of an introduction to the factors of enlightenment. And I want to end this talk right now, and want to end with this my regular, what you call,